Welcome back to the show, everyone. I've canvassed all our guests today, and apparently my story is pretty awesome.
They all got the 3-minute version. I got the 25-minute version. It's not a 25-minute story.
If you missed the beginning of the show, we've been arguing pretty much. That's
our
what
next
you
guest did find it very funny. We are joined now by broadcasting legend Red Robinson and also fabulous entertainer Michael Sicoly to tell us about a fabulous play
Gentlemen, how are you?
see called On the Air, a musical review. How are you?
We're very good. We're very good. And thank you for this opportunity. My wife Carol and downtown Julie Brown came up with it. You know, she's in a group called the Hot Mamas. And they do all the McGuire sisters and Andrews sisters.
Yeah.
They were at the Olympics in the town.
Yeah. I remember that.
So tell us, how does the play work? It's called On the Air, a musical review. What happens?
Well, you know, radio years ago really was something. And it was television without pictures, right?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, very funny line in a book called Radio. A young man at that transition period when the old radio shows left and television came on the scene, somebody's interviewing him and say, "What do you think, son?" 12 years old. "What do you think about television?" "The pictures aren't as good as radio," which is a classic line.
Yeah, that's right.
That's an awesome line, yeah.
Because it's true, your imagination works. Sure. So it's basically, we'll do things about, you know, remember when, and Dave McCormick and myself, and then we say, remember this, and Michael comes in, and he does some things. You do Groucho Marx, don't you?
You want me to do it now?
I'm not
going to do it now.
This is
just address me.
Don't you love when people put you on the spot?
I once shot an elephant in my pajamas. How we got in my pajamas, I'll never know.
And Michael, what else do you do in the play?
What else do I do?
Yeah, what else do you do?
Now we're going to get into the George Burns stuff,
that's
right?
okay.
Okay, we got to start.
No, do George. Do George.
We got to do George and Gracie right now. I couldn't resist that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
Glasses with me.
How much warning did you have with this, with the script and everything? How much time do you have to get ready? I mean, when you've got all this stuff going on. Little.
Thanks to him.
Yeah.
No, I love this man. No, we had quite a bit of time, actually. What was it, a couple months?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They've been working on the whole thing. Yeah. But what happens is, you know, the radio announcers say, here is, and that was, and there's an audience, and there's applause signs, and it's that whole magical time, really. Yeah.
So you get that old feeling of being on a radio show.
Yeah, but then we've got, you know, the Arnsons are there. Lloyd, of course, how old is Lloyd now?
He's 83, 84. God bless him.
And his son and his grandson, Evan. Yeah. I mean, they're great players. You know, it's fantastic.
I love that there's the generations in there too, right? You know,
that's
like
true.
You can
yeah.
sort of see it run through.
I think it'll have legs because people are curious about how that period was. The best show ever done, a movie on this, was called Radio Days by Woody Allen.
Yeah,
and that's a bit of this, and then, you know, we fill in with the music and George Burns sitting.
John Ryan.
Tell them.
Are you performing as well, Michael? Are you,
I'm wearing a couple hats. What else are we doing here? Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra.
You're kidding me.
Louis Armstrong, I got to do that voice.
Oh my God, that's good.
So we got to do all that kind of thing, and then the McCartney thing for the Beatles. I don't know. I got to make sure I've got the right hat on before I come.
Unbelievable. I mean, does it at any point get confusing when you're doing all this stuff? You got to just take a second and go, okay, this is who I'm doing now.
What did you say? I don't know.
How much fun is it to go in and out of all those characters?
Yeah. Too much fun. Too much fun.
Yeah.
We've done it on radio for a lot of years, and yeah.
How long have you guys known each other?
Well, through radio. When I was out at Sea Isle years ago, I get a phone call when George Burns was alive. And somebody said,
"Get in trouble." I am in trouble.
No, whatever. It was because every day I had somebody on of note, and you know, it'd be Wink Martindale or it would be Dick Clark or somebody, and they said, "Pick up the phone, it's George Burns." And you had me for what, about 2 minutes?
It was crazy. And well, I should tell the story about Fred Latrimo when he had me come on in April Fools.
Yeah.
I could have really got flayed alive for this one because I do a very good British Liverpool thing with, you know, Harrison and McCartney. They were alive. I was April Fool, and he says, I want to make believe that they're in the studio.
Oh, no.
People started phoning in.
Oh, you're kidding
And girls were going like this, George, I saw you at Shea Stadium when I was 14. I can't believe you're here. And I was like, thank you, love. It's great. You know, that you did on the ad.
Well, and Michael, part of that's really funny.
And she was like, she couldn't believe it. Right at the end, Fred blows the whistle. And, you know, I was doing Paul, how is living with Linda? Yeah, and she's great, love. You know, she's absolutely great and stuff, you know. And like that, and they're all going, I don't believe it's you.
Being that it was the Beatles.
At the end of the thing, Fred blows the whistle. You've all been had. Ah! like this. And the voice was Michael Sicoly. I'm going, oh, God.
Yeah, thanks for outing me,
And
buddy.
aliens are invading. Okay, Red, we have to talk
You
about...
can contact Michael.
Yes.
You know?
We have to talk about PAL and what it is and what it does and why this is at the PAL Theater.
That's right. The PAL Theater is a very small theater, by the way. And we hope you get tickets because there's only 125 seats per show.
Yeah.
We're there this Friday and Saturday night. PAL is the Performers Arts Lodge, PAL. And it started, the first one was in Toronto, and then they built one here just in front of the Bayshore Inn, in that building in front of it.
Yeah, just down the street from us.
Yeah, we could walk over right now. But all the entertainers in there. David Y.H. Louis, who was an impresario.
Yeah.
Dave Abbott, a great broadcaster.
Old pal of my dad's.
And just, you know, the list goes on. Joy Coghill and on and on. And it's such a great tradition. And of course, they need money to support it.
It's for people who work in the arts business
That's
and
right.
entertainment business
Right.
when they're retired to have affordable housing.
And this show is dedicated to a man that we knew very, very well and miss very dearly, Mr. Dennis Simpson as well, who was...
Oh, yes. We're saluting him with the show.
Yeah.
Actually, Dennis was in on the original plans for the show.
I didn't know that.
And then the tragedy hit and he died so young. And so we're dedicating the show to
great man
Dennis.
dedicated to. And you're down in Seattle. Is it this weekend for
this Sunday for another? Yeah. Are we going to get into this anthem?
Another anthems? Well, you have.
I knew this was coming up.
You have an infamous. Of course, you're associated with the Mariners. You've done anthems all over great ballparks and great venues all over the States.
Especially the Mariners. Plug, greatest organization.
But tell us the story of the anthem that you had to sing in another language.
Oh boy. Well, Hockey Canada called me and they said, Michael, do you want to do the junior championship, Canada versus Russia? I'm thinking, oh, Canada. I went, sure.
Yeah,
he looks me in the eye and he goes, I said, uh-oh. He says, do you know it? I go, well, I know the melody. I says, but the words, I only speak English and pretty fluent in Italian. I said, well, Russian? Sorry. He says, you got a month. I said, well, I never turned down a musical challenge. We'll go after it. I went online and it had it phonetically in English. I went, perfect. So I studied it religiously for 2 weeks. I could do it for you right now verbatim, and I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Please tell me that you memorized the right thing.
Totally.
Yeah, you nailed it.
The day of the game, the Russian consulate shows up at the arena. And the guy says, he wants to hear it done. I said, well, I'm not going in his dressing room. Forget that. I said, I'll go to center ice. This is very surreal. I'll go to center ice with the microphone, empty stadium, and he's standing in the Zamboni entrance with the CCCP sweater on, and here's him like this. He's looking at me going... So I start. I don't know what I'm talking about. And here I sing the whole thing. After it's over, he stands there and goes...
And that was it.
Looks at me and says, "Da, comrade." I said, "Yeah, da to you too." I said,
that's the key.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. You have to go check out On the Air, a musical review. It's happening for only 2 nights, Friday the 24th and this Saturday the 25th of June. For tickets online, you can check out the Brown Paper Tickets website, which I just found out is a website where you can find tickets.
Yes.
Or you can phone the PAL box office, which is the Performing Arts Lodge. If you want to find out more information about them, you can go to their website or call the box office at 604-684-8028. Yes, Michael.
Can I just go sit by my? Can I just go sit by my doppelganger?
Oh, Michael dressed like Red today, which is adorable. Look at it. It's Red Jr.
Can I get in the middle?
We're almost like brown corduroy. I'm slightly darker.
Someday, Eckford.
Yes.
You know, Red, I always thought you were a fetching dresser.
Yes.
You know.
I thought you were.
Yeah, man.
Until today.
We're going to take a break, and when we return...